March 2nd, 1877. Republican Rutherford B. Hayes is declared winner of America's disputed presidential election months earlier. Hayes moves into the White House instead of Democrat Samuel J. Tilden, who had won the popular vote. 1931. Mikhail Gorbachev, the last leader of the Soviet Union, is born in Stavropol, Russia. Gorbachev ended Soviet domination in Eastern Europe as communism there faced collapse. But his political and economic reforms at home failed to prevent the Soviet Union's disintegration. 1933. The movie King Kong premieres in New York. The tale of the giant ape spawns a remake in the 70s and most recently in 2005. And 1965. Another movie premiere in the Big Apple. This time it's The Sound of Music, based on the musical by Rodgers and Hammerstein. Today in history, March 2nd. Sandy Kozel, The Associated Press.
All right, folks, I do apologize for the late start here, but we had a brand new affiliate added to our list today that wanted me to go live today, and they provided me with information which clearly was flawed, and what it did when I pressed encode is it completely and utterly shut down my entire computer. It required a complete and utter reboot from scratch just to be able to push any buttons or do anything on the screen. So I do apologize for that, and yes, I'm in a very bad mood now, so hopefully a little dirty martini swing from Circle the Crown will help me regain control of the mothership. So enjoy this. I'll be back after this.
Hey, this is Felissa Rose from Sleepaway Camp, and you're listening to
Alien X Radio.
Show live at 313-444-8919. Again, that number is 313-444-8919.
Less commercials, definitely.
Or you can jump in the chat room at alienxradio.com. It's the attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from outer space.
awesome.
All right, it's now time for the punchlines. Today's punchlines are being brought to you by Igor's Lube. Look for and like Igor's Lube on Facebook or at www.igorslube.com. Get some today and get some tomorrow. It's great for getting your fist unstuck from a gravy boat, dry, flaky elbows, escaping from a Turkish prison, and doing it. So, Monty Python and the Foreign Object. No, that's not a new movie. That pulls something from a snake and keeps pulling. No, I don't read the story. I just read the punchline and then tell you my own take on it. No, that is not a new parody porno. It's just Monty the Python. Isn't that a fantastic name if you happen to be crazy enough to have a python as a pet? Monty's a great name. Monty the Python, Monty Python. It's freaking, it's ingenious. I love it. But then again, you can't be that smart. You have a python as a pet. Oh, but they're so cuddly. No, they're not. He would never hurt me. I didn't say he would hurt you, but it's a dumb pet. Why don't you just stuff a sock, throw that in the corner, same thing, okay? Same thing. So you don't have to feed it rats. English woman tastes sweet victory in annual pancake race. What kind of sweet victory? Was it syrupy and buttery and delicious and... No. So English woman tastes a sweet victory in annual pancake race. And it's really hard to believe that she had to do all of that training for so hard and for so long just so that she could outrun a pancake. Who's racing pancakes out there, man? Now, she'd be in a lot of trouble if she had to take on a waffle. I'm just saying, because the waffle, the shape of the waffle, it gets more traction. You know what I'm saying? It's like got cleats, kind of. You know what I'm saying? So it's got better traction. It can run in the snow, too. So watch out for the waffles. They're fast. And doctors discover booze brewing in a sober woman's bladder. So I don't understand the science behind that at all. Like what, she's sober, so she doesn't drink. But something that she ate and drank must have been somehow stuck in her bladder, and it's fermenting in there somehow and turning into booze? I don't know, but he immediately called the authorities and had her arrested for moonshining. Okay? Stills are illegal in the United States. You can't have one, apparently. It's not allowed. But for some reason, you're allowed to brew your own beer at home now. Okay? You can't make moonshine and whiskey because that's illegal. But you can make beer. I don't understand the whole rule. But anyway, I digress. That has been on the punchlines. Yo. All right, so before we get back into some more music for your Vajir holes, I just want to let all you thieves in on a little something, okay? If you're stealing a car, okay. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna hold off on that story. I'm gonna talk to you about that in a minute. Let's do this story first, real quick. Okay. This lady, I always start the story with this guy, some guy, this lady, this dude, this person. Well, this lady, and I got a picture of her up on the video feed. She was arrested, and honestly, the story, it took such a turn when the reporters were getting the information that they don't even know why she was getting arrested originally. That is how crazy the story got, is that the original reason that the police were involved and ready to arrest this woman is completely irrelevant at this point. Nobody cares. Why? Because she felt that she was being attacked by the police officers. They were just there to arrest her. Okay, so see, you people don't understand. You don't get to argue your rights at the time of arrest. You get to argue your rights after arrest. Once they say you're under arrest, that's it. That's done. You don't argue your rights because now you're resisting and you're going to get hurt. Okay? Just do what you're told. Afterwards, you argue your rights. Okay? Anyway, she starts resisting, and she believes that she's being attacked. So she defends herself. How does this... By the way, it's a stripper. Okay? So I don't know how much impact that has on the rest of the story, but she was a stripper, so I'm assuming that has a little to do with her outfit that she was wearing, which made her defense a little easier. What she was able to do, I don't know how she does this on cue. She did it on cue, folks, and then she would make a lot of money in the porno industry. She was able to squirt vaginal juices at the officers. So, you know, women, they got that thing, you know, and they can squirt, right? Well, she did this on cue at the officers. Now, I don't know if you know this or not, but if you spit on anybody, that is assault because that's a bodily fluid. Well, if spit is a bodily fluid, guess what, stripper lady? That is going to throw you into jail anyway. So you're already going to be arrested. Now you're resisting arrest, and you assaulted an officer. So everything just got much, 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 much worse. And I think that you're going to be missing at least the next couple weeks of work. So I don't know what else to tell you. So let's go ahead and throw some more music into your Vajir holes. A little Devil Skin, the name of the band, and Start a Revolution, the name of the tune. It's the Attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from Outer Space.
precious time. I couldn't tell you why. But come the night, and the time is mine. As I lead the blind, take the night for the sleeping are happy, but the days are overlapping. Days are overlapping. I'll start a revolution. Get up in the morning. I'll start a revolution. Get out. Start a revolution. Start a revolution. When I get up in the morning. Start a revolution. Start a revolution. When I get up in the morning. Every day you get weaker, stand up, 'cause we need you. Every day is a reason to just do it all over again. And the time is mine. As I lead the blind, took the night for the sleeping are happy, but the days are overlapping. Days are overlapping. I'll start a revolution. Get up in the morning. I'll start a revolution. Get out. Start a revolution. Start a revolution. When I get up in the morning. Start a revolution. Start a revolution. When I get up in the morning. When I get up in the morning. Get up in the
I'm Dakota Sky,
I'm Lori Nilly, and we're from RAK Films.
and you're listening to Alien X Radio.
All right, folks. So welcome back. It's the Attack of the Monday Morning Mancast from Outer Space. I'm your host, Alien Stone, and yes, we are already up against another break here. It's time to bring you up to date with what's going on in the world with our first news update. I do want to apologize to all of my listeners. I did kind of lose my temper here this morning when my computer system crashed on me. I am back under control once again and calm. So the attack is back under control. That sounds crazy, man. You know. The attack was out of control. Now it's under control. But it's the attack. I don't understand. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and take a short break, pause the action for station identification, and we'll be back with the second half of hour number 1 of the Attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from Outer Space.
And now the weekly news update from NPR.
Broadcasting directly into your brain.
I've always listened to it.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Corva Coleman. Pete Buttigieg is ending his bid for the White House. The 38-year-old former mayor of South Bend, Indiana, canceled a rally in Dallas and flew to his hometown to make the announcement. NPR Sam Greenglass reports.
The openly gay Navy Reserve veteran said he had a responsibility to consider the impact of staying in the race. He also recognized the historic weight of his candidacy.
We sent a message to every kid out there wondering if whatever marks them out as different means they are somehow destined to be less than. to see that someone who once felt that exact same way can become a leading American presidential candidate with his husband at his side.
Buttigieg finished in a virtual tie for first in Iowa, but struggled to gain traction with voters of color. Buttigieg's exit could mean a boost for former Vice President Joe Biden, who has also been courting moderate voters. Sam Gringlass, NPR News, Dallas.
On Saturday night, after the South Carolina primary, Democratic presidential candidate and billionaire Tom Steyer also dropped out of the race. He had aggressively courted black voters in the state, but finished third behind Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders. A second person has died of the new coronavirus in Washington state. He was a resident of a skilled nursing facility near Seattle. 6 people have tested positive for the virus at that facility. Separately, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo has announced the first positive case of the new coronavirus in his state. From member station WNYC, Sean Carlson reports.
Governor Cuomo says the patient is a woman in her late 30s who contracted the virus while traveling abroad in Iran, where more than 50 people have died from the disease. Cuomo says the patient's condition is not serious and that she's currently isolated in her home. The governor said in a statement that there is no reason for undue anxiety and that the general risk remains low in New York. The state began testing for COVID-19 locally after receiving approval from the Federal Food and Drug Administration this weekend. For NPR News, I'm Sean Carlson in New York.
Wall Street opens a new session in a few hours. Last week, U.S. markets saw their worst week since the 2008 financial crisis as investors were spooked by the effects of the coronavirus. Markets have entered correction territory. That means they have fallen more than 10% from their recent peaks. Mark Hamrick is the senior economic analyst for Bankrate.com.
It's very difficult to try to predict short-term moves in the markets, but it does appear that stocks will remain weak in the intermediate term as the outbreak spreads and the economic impacts widen. This is one reason why investors are hoping that central banks and our own Federal Reserve will respond by lowering interest rates. The Fed has a meeting in mid-March.
However, stock futures suggest that Wall Street will open higher this morning. In Asia, most major stock indexes gained ground today. This is NPR.
Oh, honey, what a wonderful surprise. A dozen roses and chocolates, a candlelit dinner, and now champagne and strawberries by the fire. You're so romantic.
What do you say we get a little closer?
Igor? That's right, Igor here with the final ingredient for love.
Igor's lube?
Nothing gets things moving and grooving like my lube, and it prevents chafing.
Thanks, Igor.
And don't forget, Igor's lube now comes in cherry, mint, and salmon flavor.
Igor's lube. Get some today and get some tomorrow. Got something to say? Don't be a bitch. Call into the show at 313-444-8919. Or you can jump in the chat room at alienxradio.com. Broadcasting from beyond planet chaos directly into your vagir holes. It's the attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from outer space.
The house is now on fire.
It's on fire! We on fire. It's now the return of the attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from outer space. I'm your host, Alien Stone, broadcasting to you live on alienxradio.com, UG Media, Raw Talk Online, United Talk Radio, WCET-FM, and eventually Lime City Radio, when we figure this out. Still coming up on the show, we are going to revisit Just a Few Questions. That's my favorite segment from Inside the Mothership, which is another show that airs at 12 noon Eastern, where I asked D-Unit a bunch of very inappropriate and uncomfortable questions. So we'll be reviewing that one. And this week's episode is called Ridiculous Renaissance. So that'll be coming up at the end of hour number 3. Of course, we'll have more news reports for you as the day progresses, as well as a sports update from our very own Prospect here on Alien X Radio. We're also going to talk about, have you ever been saved or have you ever saved someone? And what I'm talking about is, I mean, from an accident, from tripping, from falling, from losing money, from whatever. It's like you intervened and you saved somebody, or vice versa. I'll be asking for callers at that time as well. And also, another one is how many times per day and how often do you not even realize it? But you have to put your trust in the hands of complete strangers. Every day. Every day, all day. You're doing that. I did it today. And I got burned. So, anyway, all that is coming up. What else we gonna do? Let me go ahead and hit you with this right now. Thieves! Especially car thieves, okay? I'm not trying to give... It sounds so funny. I'm giving car thieves advice on how to do their job better. But I'm not really giving you advice on how to do your job better. Just think about this, okay? You're trying to steal a car. Really? That's what you want to steal is a car. Think about when you drive a car. Do you not put things in your car sometimes that are more important than the car itself? Not necessarily more expensive or more valuable, but more important. Okay, let's say I have a $30,000 car and I have an $800 cell phone sitting in the car and you steal my car. The car is insured. Yeah, I'm going to get the car back and everything. But the real hassle about all that is that cell phone is gone now with all the contacts and all. You got to do you got to go through a bunch of crap, okay? Not saying that's more valuable than the car. I'm not. I'm saying to you it may be. You know what I'm saying? But you've heard of people getting their cars carjacked, and while they were out, I don't know why you would get out of the car and leave your baby in the back seat. I don't know why you would do that, but the car gets taken, and there's a baby in the back seat, and the thief doesn't realize it till later. And almost always they do the right thing. They take the baby to a police station or something like that. You know, they do the right thing. But recently, a guy, again, decided he was going to steal a vehicle, and this was a more unique vehicle. He saw a hearse. Thought it'd be cool to steal a hearse. And he didn't bother to check the back. And, of course, there was a coffin in the back with a body. There's a body back there. So someplace in the city, there's a funeral director having to explain to a widow that we can't have the viewing of your loved one because he was stolen. They stole him. Really? Okay. Now, are you going to take this to a police station? I don't know what he would do with that. What, he's going to dump it? I don't know what you would do. Dude, think about what you just did. Think about all those people there for the funeral. Their loved ones and everything, okay? This ain't like you just stole property. They're already distraught and upset. The death of their loved one. And now they can't view because you stole their dead dad or brother or whatever. People just plain suck. You know that? I used to, every time I meet somebody, I used to put them immediately on the top shelf. And then they work their way down based on their actions and how they treat me and other people around them. They work their way down the shelves. They start at top shelf. I put everybody in the middle shelf now. You have to work your way up because there's hardly anybody up on the top shelf, man. I don't find top shelf people anymore, man. Because most people are middle shelf and down. People tend to suck lately. I Need You by Chantel O'Brien on the Attack of the Monday Morning Mancast from Outer Space.
is David Crawford from Dawn of the Dead, and you're listening to
Well, that is a sucker punch to the gonads.
Yeah. L-I-E. Yeah.
Respect my ear, fool.
Ain't my fault that you ain't bred from the street. Ain't my fault that you was flexing and we seen it. Ain't my fault that you got hit up like Tahiti. Ain't my fault that you ain't man enough to beat me. Ain't my fault that I'm the man when you see me though. Ain't my fault they demand just to see me. Ain't my fault that I'm the man in your city though. Ain't my fault that Carolina made the city blow. Fell asleep in the trap when I woke up, man, the sun was rising. Can't recall, but all I know, just see my dough was rising. Yeah, I'm strapped all day, no pillow talk. Told it with me so much, I'm starting to think that the Mac gon' walk that Carolina. Did you see me? I'm blowing heavy dose. Chilling with my own army. I'm talking daily soldier. Talking about some ape. I'm screaming heavy toes. Timmy type of the spark to yo. I'm screaming heavy smokers. Ain't my fault that you ain't bred from the street. Ain't my fault that you was flexing and we seen it. Ain't my fault that you got hit up like Tahiti. Ain't my fault that you ain't man enough to beat me. Ain't my fault that I'm the man when you see me though. Ain't my fault they demand just to see me. Ain't my fault that I'm the man in your city though. Ain't my fault that Carolina made the city blow. It's that country, back up on this country flow. In the city, it's a must, I gotta let them know. Best stop playing like you ain't heard about that jump out. That Vando open fit, probably would've jump out. What you talking about that action? Let me tell you why I'm snapping. From the wood, was cracking. Let me tell you how it happened. Reppin' east side, C-Well to CV, talking 6-0, 7 foes and GDs, no affiliation. What you talking, I'm syndicated, boy, you really hating. You just mad cause I really made it, what you demonstrating? How to be the boss of the struggle, I'm connected in the hood and I really know how to hustle. Ain't my fault that I'm the man when you see me though. Ain't my fault they demand just to see me. Ain't my fault that I'm the man in your city though. Ain't my fault that Carolina made the city blow. Dope man, yeah, I brought the city hope, man. You fool with my dough and they'll never see you float. Hey, watch, move. Yeah. I brought my foot to a gangster for real. Better know that you get the picture, Leo. I line it chalk. If you think that I'm with you, I'm the one that they'll call. Get the situation done quicker. If you don't know about everything that I do is intentional. Ain't my fault that you ain't bred from the street. Ain't my fault that you was flexing and we seen it. Ain't my fault that you got hit up like Tahiti. Ain't my fault that you ain't man enough to beat me. Ain't my fault that I'm the man when you see me though. Ain't my fault they demand just to see me. Ain't my fault that I'm the man in your city though. Ain't my fault that Carolina made the city blow.
Let's rock this joint. Let's rock this joint.
Welcome back to The Attack, everybody. It's The Attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from Outer Space, broadcasting to you live directly into your Vajir holes from the other side of planet Chaos as we scream through the galaxy at triple redunculous speeds. Well, maybe not screaming, just talking really loud in the back row, playing on our cell phones, making everybody mad during the movie. Perhaps that's what's actually going on. Anyway, do not worry. The gravitational plates are gravitating, the inertia canceller is canceling, and the deflector array is deflecting. And you will be brought back. But no, you will not be brought back in the same condition as when I picked you up, as when you were beamed aboard the mothership. You will be forever changed. You cannot unhear what I tell you. You cannot unsee what I show you. And you cannot unlearn what I teach you. No matter how much you take a shower, no matter how much you scrub. Okay? Just saying. Don't worry, though. We have this effect on most humans. Anyway, welcome back to the show. We got, about 13, 14 minutes before the end of the hour number 1. So what are we going to talk about? Let's see. I got a nice list here of things that we're going to talk about today. One of the things that I wanted to take at the bottom of the hour, nice big section here to talk about it. You can give me a call, by the way, if you want to chime in on this. 1-313-444-8919. Again, it's 444-8919. Again, 1-313-444-8919. Or you can Skype me at AlienStone1. That's the number 1. Don't spell it out because you would be wrong. It's AlienStone1 if you want to chime in on this. What we're going to talk about right now is have you ever saved somebody, or have you ever been saved? And I'm not talking about a religious aspect. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about somebody was walking on the edge of something, and you saw that they were getting ready to fall, and you kind of just reached out, put your hand there, and they regained their balance, and you saved them. They didn't fall. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. And it doesn't have to be from death necessarily. It could be from anything. Somebody almost knocked their milkshake off of the table, and you happen to catch it real quick, or something of that nature. The reason why this had popped into my head is because we intervene unknowingly in things all the time. Now, some people, religious people like to say things all happen for a reason. It's part of a divine plan or whatever. Some people, all the religious people have said that when, an angel has stepped in to intervene. But you can also see how people intervene. This is my story that happened just the other day. And that's what made me think about this. At work, we have to get into a van. There's 2 of us. We get into a van, and we have to drive from one location to another location to begin the workday. We get into the van, we load up everything that we need, and it's dark outside still. It's early in the morning. It's still dark out. And we're ready to pull out onto the main road. And I had picked up my coffee mug, and I took a big drink of my coffee. So I had coffee in my mouth, all right? So I can't talk. There's coffee in my mouth. Even though it's dark out and there's headlights, I have no idea, she has no idea, but the person driving the vehicle did not see a truck coming down the street. And this truck was so close, okay? She starts to pull out. And if she had pulled out before we even straightened out, we would have been hit. Okay, they were that close. We'd have been hit. Coffee in my mouth, right? So I clearly see the truck coming, and I realize that she's moving forward. And in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, she's just scooting forward. But then she starts accelerating. I'm like, oh, no, she's pulling out. She's pulling out. We're going to get hit. Can't say anything. Got hot coffee in my mouth, right? I know it sounds like why I got hot coffee in your mouth this long? It was only a split second, okay? I'm just talking about it a lot. So I go, at her, right? And I put my hand out in front of her, and I start snapping my fingers. And I'm trying to, I know it's kind of rude, I'm snapping my fingers in somebody's face. And I'm, okay? But she hits the brakes, right? Because she doesn't know what the hell's going on. Still hadn't seen the truck. After we come to a complete stop, and then she looks in front of her, the truck's already now passing us, okay? So we would have been creamed. We would have been creamed. She's like, sees the truck, she's like, oh my God, you saved us. And I'm like, well, I don't know if we would have died in that collision because it wasn't like super high speed or anything, but nonetheless, that accident did not happen because of my intervention. Because in her world, that truck didn't exist, and she was going to pull out anyway. So if I wasn't there and I didn't do what I did, she would have collided with that, or the truck would have hit her. They would have hit together. Okay, either way, it would have been bad. Then we wouldn't have got to the lot, and all the people that were waiting for us to go to work, they would have all been behind as well. And then there would have been police involved, and it would have been the whole day would have been a disaster because of one intervention, and that was me just snap my fingers. Now, like I said, sometimes things happen like you're walking towards the door and you drop your car keys. Oops, dropped my car keys. So the 5 to 10 seconds that it takes you to turn around, bend down, pick up those keys, and put them in your pocket, when you're driving to work, after you go through a light, the second you pass through the light, a car swoops through behind you and creams another car behind you who was about 5 to 10 seconds behind you. Now, that is the instance when people step in and start saying, well, maybe that was an angel that stepped in, or it was intervention from God or something of that nature. Or it was just clumsiness, dropping your keys, gravity. Could be all of these different things, okay? But that one moment is what defined that other moment. It's kind of deep when you start thinking about this kind of stuff. But again, have you personally ever saved somebody? It could be from anything. A friend of mine saved my life, okay? Not saved from an accident, not saved me from dropping my milkshake. No, he saved my life when I was a kid. We had a campground with a big giant hill, which was was called the Sand Hill, and it was covered with sand for the kids to play in. You know, they dug and they made sand castles, and they had a lot of fun in that sand hill. It was huge. And the deeper you dug in the sand, of course, the more moist and dense the sand got, to the point where you could actually hollow out and dig tunnels and stuff, right? Which you shouldn't be doing ever. It's loose freaking sand. Okay, and when you get down there, it's not as loose. It's kind of moist and it's kind of heavy. So I dug a tunnel, and I could look up and see my friend out of the tunnel. I went down 45-degree angle or something. I don't know. I could look up the tunnel and see him up there, and I sat all the way to the bottom, and I put my hands next to my sides. And I said, "Yeah, this is pretty deep." As soon as I said that, the whole thing collapsed on top of me. My hands are to my side. There was no way I could have dug my way out. And if my friend had not been standing right there looking into the tunnel at me at the time that it collapsed, I would probably still be buried in the sandhill at the campground. So he saved me. He dug. He dug with a fury. Okay, and thank God it was sand, because if it was dirt, he never would have got to me in time. But because it was sand, it was easy to dig it out, you know what I'm saying? Plus, don't get me wrong, I was still wiggling and trying to get out myself, too. So the more he took off of me, the easier it was for me to help dig from underneath, because I didn't have the weight. So, I guess, nobody out there has ever saved anybody or ever been saved, because, once again, nobody calling in to chime in. So, all right. Well, it is time to, once again, to take a short break. Pause in the action for station identification. It's time for another news update. When we come back, we're going to have hour number 2 in full force. What the Florida on the way. More punchlines. More news next hour, as well as a sports update from our very own prospect. And then we'll talk about trusting strangers on a daily basis. And you do it every day. Every moment of every day, really. You're constantly trusting strangers. Our wackadoo of the week in hour number 3. More punchlines, more news. Lots of music for the Vajir holes, and ridiculous renaissance to the name of just a few questions. All that on the way. It's the Attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from Outer Space.
Pete is no longer candidate Pete. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
I will no longer seek to be the 2020 Democratic nominee for president.
Pete Buttigieg dropped out of the race last night.
I urge everyone who supported me to continue in the cause of ensuring that we bring change to the White House.
Buttigieg had a narrow win in the first contest in Iowa, but finished a distant 4th in South Carolina, where Joe Biden scored a big win on Saturday. The Buttigieg exit is also before Super Tuesday. 14 primaries tomorrow, about a third of the delegates at stake. Bernie Sanders told ABC this week.
My guess is that we have an excellent chance to win some of the largest states in this country and states all across this country.
There's been a second death in the U.S. from the coronavirus. Also in Washington state, a man in his 70s with underlying health problems. There are 10 cases in that state, at least 70 others across America.
But the cases now in the U.S. are spreading. We've seen them in Florida, New York, California, Oregon, Washington, Illinois, and Rhode Island. Many have no clear path to exposure, and that suggests other cases out there are still undiagnosed.
That's Fox's Benjamin Hall. Globally, there are more than 89,000 cases of the coronavirus, and more than 3,000 people have died, 66 of them in Iran, including an advisor to Iran's president. North Korea has done it again with yet another test launch we've just learned about. Fox's Simon Owen details what we know live.
Dave, North Korea firing something into the sea, according to reports from South Korea and Japan. South Korea's military saying it looks like 2 short-range ballistic missiles were launched, traveling nearly 150 miles. It's North Korea's first weapons test in 3 months. Leader Kim Jong-un began the year calling U.S. sanctions gangster-like and saying shocking action could follow after nuclear talks with the U.S. stalled. Dave?
America's listening to Fox News.
My God, what have I done? What have I done? Look at the turning wheel.
The Alignment, the latest CD from The Creeping Chaos, featuring Dead in the Water.
Dead in the water.
Beg for mercy and Under the Blade.
We live our lives under a blade.
Available now at iTunes, CD Baby, and Rock of Ages in Garden City.
Feel Good Firing's the place to call when you really want to make yourself feel big by firing somebody. We provide you with an unsuspecting loser who you can hire, then turn around and fire. But Feel Good Firing services go beyond just satisfying your little hissy fits. We'll give you someone you can pin the blame on the next time you spend the whole company payroll on hookers and blow. So when you screw up, don't take the blame. Just pass the buck. Call Feel Good Firings and we'll take the blame, the shame, and the indictments away.
The views and opinions expressed in the following show do not necessarily represent those of this station or its sponsors.
Resistance is futile, but you can struggle if you like.
It's the attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from outer space.
You got something to say? Say it, bucko. Call into the show live at 313-444-8919. Again, that number is 313-444-8919.
Am I the meanest?
Alien Stone.
Am I the prettiest?
Alien Stone.
Am I the baddest mofo low down around this town?
Alien Stone.
But who am I?
Alien Stone.
Who am I?
Alien Stone.
I can't hear you.
Alien Stone.
The Shogun of Harlem.
All right, everybody, welcome to hour number 2 of the attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from outer space, broadcasting to you live on alienxradio.com, UG Media, Raw Talk Online, United Talk Radio, and WCET FM. Welcome and good morning, everybody. And then, of course, don't forget, if you're tuning into any one of our fantastic affiliates in syndication and replay around the world, good morning to you as well. Afternoon, evening, whenever it is that they play us. We're played all around the clock, all around the globe. Good morning, afternoon, good evening, and good night. They cover everything. Good everything, people. So it is hour number 2. Punchlines on the way, music for the Vajir holes, more news reports and sports reports. Later on, we'll be talking about trusting strangers. We're doing that towards the end of this hour. How you do it on every day. And we'll talk about that. All the different times that you don't even think about it, but you are, in fact, trusting strangers. And in hour number 3, will we have a wackadoo of the week? I'm not really sure. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. I don't know. Punchlines, more music for the Vajir holes, and news reports, and just a few questions. The Ridiculous Renaissance is the name of that one. But first, let's go ahead and do this.
Broadcasting directly into your brain.
What the Florida?
All right, folks, this week's What the Florida is being brought to you by Igor's Lube. Look for and like Igor's Lube on Facebook and at www.igorslube.com. It's a great way to get your fist unstuck from a gravy boat Get some today and get some tomorrow. Igor's Lube. It's great for that naked twister thing. Try the brand new 22-ounce bottle. You do it in the gallon size, too, in case you want to do the naked twister thing. And also at www.igorslube.com. Right now, order yourself an Igor's Lube t-shirt in the Igor's Apparel store. So, the Florida this week. It's amazing to me. People are just in Florida. I don't know, man. I got friends that live in Florida. I've been to Florida. And there's really I just don't understand Florida. Like at all. So anyway, this guy in Florida, he's in the hospital. I'm assuming that he was a difficult patient. And if you are a nurse or a doctor that work in a hospital, you know what I mean by difficult patient. You know exactly what I'm talking about, okay? They're constantly complaining and bitching and whining and hitting the buzzer and calling you for this, that, and the other thing. It's like you're a waitress. They call you to do everything, just constantly. I'm assuming, and I have to assume that that's what the case was with this guy. Because now, the nurse, I almost said waitress, the nurse is no longer paying any attention to this guy. Like, he calls so many times that she's ignoring him, which is a bad situation because now what happens if something real happens? You know, he's like having a heart attack or something, or he's bleeding profusely or something of that nature. You know what I mean? So, it's not a good idea. You shouldn't be the boy that cried wolf at the hospital, okay? I'm saying, don't abuse your nurse. But the nurse isn't listening anymore, not paying any attention. So he screamed for her. She's not coming. He hits the button on the little call thing. She's not coming. I'm sure he attempted calling the desk from the phone. She's not coming. She's not answering him. She's not listening to him. So he's like, I got to get her attention somehow. So he did what I'm sure that nobody else had ever thought of doing before to get their nurse's attention. He set his bed on fire. What? Was he in it? If you're calling for your nurse, I would assume that's because you can't get out of your bed. You know what I mean? So you set your bed on fire? I think you just extended your stay at the hospital. Except now you get a transfer to the burn victim unit. And yes, sir. What? The Florida? And Wackadoo of the Week together. I can't believe people. Anyway, let's go to some music for the Vajir Holes. It's Last Call by Maida on the Attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from Outer Space.
the only thing that light up our way. Hold on, come a little closer as the rain begins to fall. Come on over, we won't be alone. I will give you my shoulder, just to lean time for the last call.
Hi, this is Adrienne King from Friday the 13th, and you're listening to
The world ended. Didn't you get the memo?
Change ain't go away. Too many things to do today. I should have known that your heart was gone. I should
beyond planet chaos, directly into your Vajir holes. It's the attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from outer space. You got something to say? Don't be a bitch. Call into the show at 313-444-8919. Or you can jump in the chat room at alienxradio.com.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the attack. Now the Alien X lines are open. I can only answer the phone during talking segments. So now the Alien X lines are open. If you would like to give me a call at 313-444-8919, the Alien X lines are now open. 313-444-8919 or Alienstone1 for Skype. That's Alienstone on the number 1. And we'll go to those lines right now. You're inside the mothership for the attack. Who's this?
It's CC.
CC, what's up?
I'm just listening to you and on WCET-FM and doing laundry. Shameless plug.
Well, what's going on?
I'm just listening to you and doing laundry.
Oh, so you just called to listen while talking on the phone? Didn't have a question or anything you wanted to discuss? Anything that we talked about earlier? Just called to tell me you're doing laundry?
You were talking about saving lives earlier.
I'm sorry?
I said you were talking about saving lives earlier.
Yeah, so tell me a story then. What happened? Did you do something that saved somebody?
I was in the Coast Guard. What do you think? Lots of stories there. Which one would you like? Would you like the one where the shrimper got his leg cut off?
I don't know. These are your stories. They happen to you. Pick one really interesting story you think that the listeners at WCET-FM would be interested in listening to, and tell the story.
This was in 1997. I was at the communication station down in New Orleans here, and all of a sudden, it was about 2 o'clock in the morning, and over one of the frequencies I hear, hello, anybody there? So I dial up the frequency, and I go, this is Coast Guard Communication Station New Orleans, can I help you? And he goes, yes, I'm a shrimper off the coast down in Louisiana, and I had a guy got tangled up in a troll line, and it snapped his leg off and cut it clean.
Wow.
And I need help. And
yeah.
So I said, okay, stand by. So I got his position, and then I called the Coast Guard Rescue Center, and he said, okay, call the helicopter, the air station. So I called the Coast Guard air station down in Belle Chase. And so he set him up. I gave him a position, and they sent out a helicopter to him. And they airlifted him off of the ship, or off the shrimp boat, and they took him to the hospital in, where was it? Somewhere on the West Bank. I forgot what it was. So they airlifted him to the hospital, and I never heard from him again. And about 4 or 5 months later, I get a citation. A citation. Oh, what did I do wrong? It wasn't the bad kind.
Right, it was the good kind. Yeah.
And that kind
Fool you! They had you scared.
I get a citation in the mail, and so that was worth it.
Yeah. So yeah, you absolutely saved somebody's life. You absolutely did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So somebody would say, well, when they came and got him, they saved his life. How did they come and get him? They wouldn't have come and got him had you not contacted them, right?
Yeah, because there's no radio procedure. If you have an emergency on a frequency, you're supposed to say Mayday, Mayday, but he didn't. He just called out on a radio frequency and said, "Hello."
He was
Can
freaking
anybody help
out.
me?
Yeah, he was freaking out.
Typical Cajun,
But yeah, I mean, if you hadn't intervened, who knows how that. I mean, well, we kind of can figure out how that would have ended for the man. It would have been very, very grim.
I like that last song you just played. That one's pretty cool. Who was that by? I missed it. I was getting my coffee.
His name is Michael, but he spells it a little different. It's Mikal. That's the artist name, just Michael. and the tune is called Jane Jane. And we actually had him in the studio many years ago, and he did a live version of that as well. Really good artist. Yeah.
It sounds like it. I have to go look him up.
Yeah. The music, a lot of his songs. Do you by chance remember a movie called So I Married an Axe Murderer, or the movie? Or the movie.
I've heard of it, but I never watched it.
Oh no, it's a comedy with Mike. It's not like a scary movie or anything. It's a comedy with Mike Myers. And then there's another movie called Singles, which came out in the 90s. Those movies, their soundtracks are very in tune with his kind of music, very like early 90s kind of vibe to it. It's really good stuff. Very well produced, really good lyrics. Just a really, really talented gentleman. Again, Michael is his name. Mikal. Look him up on Facebook.
Yeah, well, I don't have Facebook. I'll have to look him up on the web.
I know he's got Reverb Nation. There's a lot of places that you can find him. He's all over the place. He's a very professional musician. So, very contactable. Know what I mean?
There you go.
All right.
All right. I thought I'd call in and bug you a minute.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you very much.
So
I appreciate the story. I really appreciate that story. That was, and I appreciate everything that you did there, too. Obviously, there's a person now alive because of your actions. Whether or not it was your duty or whether or not it was procedure is kind of irrelevant. It's you followed procedure, you did your duty, and that is what the result was, is a person is alive now. So you did, in fact, save somebody. So you should not pat yourself on the back, but you should take that to heart and just be thankful that you were there for that guy.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I will let you get back to your dirty socks, sir.
Well, they're clean now. They're in the dryer.
They're on fluff, making them all nice and fluffy and soft. All right.
Just be off time off the WCTFM server, because I got Angel Strong after you.
I'm right on time, baby. All my show will be right on time. Yeah.
I don't know what it is. We're trying to figure it out. It might be your Sam, but when you drop off the server, everybody has to refresh. We get a network error. I don't know, we're still trying to figure that out. I don't know what's going on there.
Huh.
Might be that cheap server too. Need a different one.
I have no clue.
I have not a clue either. It's just one of them things, AI, that we all have to get along with,
It's
or
the
get
ghost in the
along
machine.
without.
Yeah, the beginning of my show was a disaster because we had a new affiliate. I put in a bunch of encoding information, and as soon as I pressed the encoder, my entire computer system completely and utterly locked and then shut down.
Yeah, mine too, because I tried calling you on Skype earlier, and it said you're unavailable. So I had to reboot mine 3 times.
It was like the first 15 minutes.
I'll just call in the call-in line, 313-444-8919.
Yeah.
It's not that hard,
No, pretty simple. Pretty simple. All right, well, man, I do thank you for calling in and being part of the show today, and I'm sure that you will do so many more times in the future.
Yep.
All right.
We'll catch you later.
All right, have a good one, sir.
Bye.
Peace. Well, it helps if I mute the right station or the right line, right? All right, well, thank you very much for calling in, and now it's time to get back to some more music for you for Ear Holes, the Alien song. That's right. On Alien X Radio, I'm Alien Stone, the Alien song by the Smashed Idols on the Attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from Outer Space.
You ever wonder what it'd be like if aliens came down from outer space? Well, this is what they'd sing. We've come from a distant rock to see what you monkeys got. We'll watch you for years and years, so cry out your final tears. People of Earth, people of Earth, people of Earth, people of Earth. You're gonna die now. You should have paid designers. People lover. People lover. People lover. People lover. You're gonna die now.
All right, folks, once again, it's time for the punchlines. This portion of the show is being brought to you by Igor's Lube. Look for and like Igor's Lube on Facebook or at www.igorslube.com. Great for getting your fist unstuck from a gravy boat. Great for dry, flaky elbows and squeaky hinges. And, of course, doing it! Get some today and get some tomorrow. Everything is smoother with Igor's Lube. That's www.igorslube.com. And don't forget that Igor's Apparel now available at igorslube.com. 36-year-old arrested for calling 911 after parents shut off his cell phone. Wow, dude. Number one, you're 36 years old. You're 36 years old. And your cell phone is from your parents. Why? Why don't you have your own cell phone? On your own house? Why? I don't understand. But let's move past that, and let's just say that you're 36 years old, you still live at home in your basement, and you're on the cell phone that you're sharing the family plan. And they shut off your cell phone probably because you're not contributing, you're not paying anything, and you're 36 years old! You've been pushed out of the nest, okay? I'm sure that he had to use the home computer to Google or find a YouTube video just to teach him how to use the landline to call 911 in the first place. You pampered little whatever today. I don't know. Oh, my God. He's making me itch. He's making me itch. You're making me itch, bro. Get a job. Get your own phone. Get out of your parents' basement and get out of their face. They've had quite enough. And stop calling 911 over stupid stuff. So, you're 36 years old, you got no job, you live in the basement, your cell phone you're sharing with your parents' family plan, they shut it off, you get all crybaby about it and throw a fit. You abuse the 911 system by calling 911 over something that you wouldn't even call the police for. And then you probably didn't even know how to call it in the first place without having to Google it on the freaking computer. Put all that on your resume. Right back in your mom's basement, right? New Hampshire police chief strips off his uniform after being stripped of his duties. So, you're fired. That's what they said to him. You're fired. They fired the police officer. So, when you stripped off his duties, he stripped off his uniform. Right there. Like he's, like, directing traffic. And now, all of a sudden, instead of, like, waving and pointing, he's spinning and poking. With his police baton, if you know what I'm saying. His natural baton. It's made of natural wood. It depends on what he's thinking of. It might be unnatural. But anyway, 2 songs later, he's already made more in tips than he got for his severance pay. So, it's a win-win situation, folks. And finally, a chihuahua that can't walk befriends a pigeon that can't fly. Aw. So poor little chihuahua can't walk. The poor little pigeon can't fly. They can't do what they're supposed to do. But they end up together being a friend. They're friends. The dog was found on the porch and the pigeon was found in the bushes, so they're appropriately named Matt and Russell. And if you didn't get that joke, sorry. Try again. And that has been the punchlines. In your face. All right, so we got to take another short break, pausing the action for station identification. And also, it's time to bring you up to date on what's going on in the world with another news update. So when we come back, we'll have the rest of hour number 2. What are we going to talk about? Trusting strangers. And then in hour number 3, more punchlines, music for the Vajira Holes, news updates, and ridiculous renaissance. Just a few questions. So go nowhere. We will be back momentarily.
And now your weekly news update from NPR.
Broadcasting directly into your brain.
I've always listened to it.
Police in the capital of the Philippines, Manila, are surrounding a shopping mall. A gunman is holding dozens of people inside as hostages. One person has been shot. Local officials say the gunman is a disgruntled former mall security guard. The gunman says he'll release the hostages if police officers do not try to trick him. Negotiators have reached a tentative deal in a dispute in Canada over a proposed natural gas pipeline in the western province, British Columbia. The dispute has triggered protests and blockades of railroad lines. Dan Karpinchuk reports.
Details of the deal were not disclosed, but those close to the talks say the focus was on Indigenous rights and land titles. Ottawa's Indigenous Relations Minister, Carolyn Bennett, says it's the beginning of a better relationship with the Wet'suwet'en Nation. She adds that there will be a signing if it is agreed to by people of the Wet'suwet'en. She says the proposal is to ensure that rights holders will always be at the negotiating table. Chief Woos of the Wet'suwet'en hereditary leaders says the draft is a milestone, but warned it's not over yet. Rail blockades went up across the country as supporters of the chiefs protested in solidarity. The barricades brought much of the country's freight and passenger rail service to a near standstill. For NPR News, I'm Dan Karpinchuk in Toronto.
The Vatican is releasing documents today from the papacy of Pope Pius XII. These range from World War II to the early Cold War. Pope Pius has been blamed for failing to speak up for the 6 million Jews and millions of others who were murdered in the Holocaust. Scholars want to know more about why Pope Pius was silent. I'm Corva Coleman, NPR News in Washington.
Broadcasting directly into your brain.
And now your weekly sports update with The Prospect.
What's up, everyone? Prospect here with a weekly sports update on Alien X Radio. The XFL is in week 4 of their 10-week season, with the finish line of a completed season in their sights as fans have remained loyal to their 8 teams. We all know that the league has implemented some innovative rules and nuances to separate them from the rest, and it seems like they have caught the attention of at least one team. The Citadel has decided to use some of the rules in their spring game, more notably the kickoff rule, the elimination of the PAT, the double forward pass, and the overtime rule. Granted that this is one team using it for one game, but it proves that this new league is turning heads. But two people that you won't see on the gridiron anytime soon is Tim Tebow and Chad Johnson. Tebow, as you know, was contacted by the league about wanting to join, which he respectfully declined due to his commitment to the New York Mets minor league affiliate. And Chad Johnson was scheduled to try out as a place kicker, but decided against it for reasons unknown. Apparently, in the world of horse racing, you can still win from losing. Maximum Security won the first running of the Saudi Cup, becoming the first horse to win a race after being disqualified from winning a previous race, doing so in the Kentucky Derby. The horse and jockey Luis Saez edged Midnight Bisou and Ben Battle to win a cool $10 million. See, kids, you should never give up. Well, tune in next week for more sports. For Alien X Radio, I'm the Prospect. Say until next time, Prospect.
Oh my God. What have I done? What have I done? Look at the turning. The Alignment, the latest CD from The Creeping Chaos, featuring Dead in the Water. Beg for mercy and Under the Blade. Available now at iTunes, CD Baby, and Rock of Ages in Garden City.
Broadcasting from beyond planet chaos directly into your vajir holes. You got something to say? Don't be a bitch. Call into the show at 313-444-8919. You have been beamed aboard and are now inside the mothership for the attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from outer space.
All right, folks. Oh, my God. Welcome back to the show. If you can call it one today. I'm just saying. For those of you that's been tuned since the beginning, know there was a catastrophic technological implosion at the beginning of the show. It comes from implementing brand new encoder information for a brand new station. Using different systems and different types of passwords and such, clearly not compatible with one another. It completely locked my screen, locked my mouse, locked everything up, wouldn't let me do anything. Could not reboot the computer, couldn't shut it off either. So it ended up taking 15 minutes of my first hour just to get on the air. Of course, not on that station. Can't get on that station still, because I'm not going to try that again until we figure that out. I haven't been able to get focused since. And now, the computer is starting to do things by itself without me hitting anything. Moments ago, during the news report, it loaded a song by itself, started playing the song by itself, and then turned on my microphone. By itself. Now, you could call it a glitch, you could call it a virus, you could call it a gremlin, ghost in the machine, or intervention from Satan. I don't know. But I'm going to try to move forward. More music for your vajir holes. In the form of Detroit Saturday Night and the band Wicked Frenzy on the Attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from outer space.
Hello, this is Ernie Singleton, a.k.a. T-Dog from The Walking Dead, and you are listening to
X Radio.
The world ended. Didn't you get the memo?
It's just in hot off the press. I look so pretty in my dress. My makeup expertly applied, but I'm ugly inside. This is news, it made front page. How lovely is the girl on stage? I take the compliments in stride, but I'm ugly inside. I paint my nails, I paint my face. I take the stage and present my case as they growl and hiss and criticize. I know exactly what they've said. I hear their thoughts inside my head, setting me ablaze with angry eyes because I'm ugly inside. I taught myself not to feel, to use my vices to heal all the pain deep inside, to make the voices subside. The screams of envy and greed, the call of hunger and need. I drown them out one more time and tell the world I'll be fine. I paint my nails, I paint my face. I take the stage and present my case as they growl and hiss and criticize. I know exactly what they've said. I hear their thoughts inside my head, setting me ablaze with angry eyes because I'm ugly inside. Don't draw me in and hypnotize. Don't compliment and patronize. Don't waste your empty flattery. Don't act like it should matter to me. Don't flaunt yourself and bat your eyes. Don't spin your tails and spew your lies. Don't tell me I look good tonight, 'cause I'm ugly inside. If they only knew the demons within, they'd see I wear a grimace where they interpreted a grid. If they only knew the demons I face, they'd understand these walls that are keeping me safe. I paint my nails, I paint my face. I take the stage and present my case as you growl and hiss and criticize. I know exactly what you said. I hear your thoughts inside my head, setting me ablaze with angry eyes because I'm ugly inside. I'm ugly inside. I'm ugly inside. I'm ugly inside.
Resistance is futile, but you can struggle if you like. It's the attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from outer space. You got something to say? Say it, bucko. Call into the show live at 313-444-8919. Again, that number is 313-444-8919.
All right, everybody, welcome back to The Attack. I am your host, Alien Stone. We are broadcasting to you live from the other side of Planet Chaos, directly into your Vajir holes on alienxradio.com, UG Media, Raw Talk Online, United Talk Radio, and WCET-FM, and then our fine affiliates in syndication and replay around the world. Fantastic stations like 920 WOM The Apple in New York City, New York, or 24.7 The Stream in Chicago, Illinois. Oh, yes, we're all over the place, all over the world, and surprisingly all over Florida. As much as I make fun of them, they still love us in Florida. I don't know what the deal is. They just know, you know. They're like, yeah, we get it. We know, we live here, we understand. Anyway, it is now time. I want to talk about this for just a moment here. We're going to talk about trust. I'm going to talk to you just for a little bit here about trust. You know that you trust your friends, maybe not all of them, but you trust your friends and you trust your family. Maybe you trust your husband, your wife, your brother, your sister, your loved ones every day. You know what I'm saying? But that trust is it's not misplaced. It's not placed there just half-heartedly. I mean, you know, you've had your life with your friend. You've had your life with your family or your loved one, and you have a history together where you have developed a basic knowledge of the other person, and you know that they can, in fact, be trusted. So you place your trust in that person for whatever reason it is, for whatever it may be. It could be something as simple as, hey, this, you know, we're at the laundromat and the dryer's about to stop in 5 minutes, but I need to go get something to eat real quick. I'm not going to make it back in time. You know, you're doing your laundry over here. When this ends, could you just take that out of there and put it in this basket here so somebody else can use this? You know, I'm just trusting you to do that. But, you know, we're here every week and we've done this for each other before. So, yeah, I trust you. We have a history. I know you. We've done this. But would you do that exact same thing to somebody that you've never seen before for the very first time? Would you ask them to do that, and would you trust them to do that? And a lot of you right now are thinking, well, no. You know, if I don't know this person, I don't want them opening up the dryer, taking out my clothes, you know, who knows what they're going to do to my clothes. And, you know, maybe they'll take them, or maybe they'll go through them looking for stuff, or maybe they'll do weird, trippy things with my underwear. I don't know. Because you don't know them, you don't trust them. But on a day-to-day basis, you don't realize it. You are trusting people that you do not know with things far more important than your underwear. Okay, far more important than your underwear. Now, if you want to talk about this, you can give me a call, 313-444-8919. Again, that's 313-444-8919. Or you can Skype me at AlienStone1. That's the number 1. Don't spell out 1 because you would be wrong. It's AlienStone1. That's the Skype line. Or, as again, 313-444-8919. Now, what do I mean by every single day you trust somebody? Okay, first, I'm going to give you a couple examples of things that you're going to go, Alien Stone, that's just stupid. Okay, that's just stupid. Why are you even bringing that up? Because I'm building up to a larger thing, okay? In the morning, your alarm went off to wake you up, right? You trust that the maker of the alarm made a quality product that's actually going to do what it was supposed to do and wake you up in the morning, right? What are you trusting that alarm clock to do for you? Is to get you up so that you can go to work where you make your money and you pay all your bills and everything. So that's a pretty big thing, right? You're putting your trust in this alarm clock to wake you up. Well, that was built by somebody, designed by somebody, so you're putting your trust in all of these people, and you don't know a single one of them. Okay, so they could be crazy. They could be setting it to while you're sleeping to randomly go to another time zone or do whatever. Okay, and that's stupid, Alien Stone. That's just ridiculous. Yeah, that is kind of a stupid one. But let's step it up a notch. Okay, let's step it up several notches, shall we? You go into a restaurant. You sit down at the table, and you order veal parmesan. You love yourself some veal parmesan. Usually comes with some spaghetti and some garlic toast, all that, and you're ready to eat, and you just love it, right? Okay. Well, your waitress comes over, and that's what you order. Now, you're trusting the waitress, who you may or may not know, depending on how often you're there. You're trusting your waitress to tell the cook in the back exactly what you want to eat, to get it right. You're trusting her also, when she gets your drink, not to spit in it. You're trusting her to put clean ice in a clean glass, which means you're also trusting the guy who washes dishes that he actually washed the dishes properly. You're trusting that you got your silverware right there, too. Was it sanitized? You don't know. That was put out there before you got here. You're trusting somebody you've never seen in the back. You don't know them. You might know the waitress, but you don't know them. Now you're trusting the cook who's cooking your food that he's doing it appropriately, not doing anything wrong with it, that he didn't drop it on the floor. You're trusting that it wasn't spoiled in the back because nobody's ordered it in a week. These are a lot of things. The people that packed the frozen veal patties that come in your veal parmesan in the factory somewhere, you're trusting that they didn't see a rat walking on it and they packed it anyway. Again, people are Alien Stone, you're being ridiculous. You're just being ridiculous. I'm not being ridiculous. I'm not saying don't trust people. I'm not saying that at all. You have no choice in that manner. You have to trust everybody if you want the veal parmesan in the restaurant. Otherwise, you're going to have to raise your own animals, slaughter them yourselves, raise all your own vegetables to make your own sauce. You're going to have to do everything yourself if you don't want to trust a stranger. Now let's step it way up a notch. You're driving to work. It's a 2-lane road. Here comes a guy traveling the other direction in a Hummer. You're driving a smart car, which is really a dumb car. But either way, he's coming towards you at 55 miles an hour. You're going towards him at 55 miles an hour. You're both in your respective lanes with that line separating the two of you. What is stopping that other person? What is stopping that other person at the last second from just turning the wheel and you have a 50-mile-an-hour head-on collision? Everybody'd be killed instantly. You know what I'm saying? People are like, well, Alien Stone, why would somebody do that? Why would somebody jump off a bridge? Why would somebody shoot themselves in the head? Why would somebody cut their wrists? Why would somebody commit suicide ever? That could be done that way. He's like, I've had enough. This is a perfect opportunity. Here comes a car. I know that if I go head-on a collision with this, it'll kill me. He doesn't think about the other person, but you're trusting every day that you drive on the road that the people coming towards you in the other lane aren't going to switch lanes into your face and kill you. And vice versa. They're trusting that you do not do that. We're also trusting that you got enough sleep, you're not going to fall asleep and accidentally swerve over into the lane too. That's another level of trust. Now I don't have to worry about the suicidal people. I got to worry about people that just were up late. Maybe their alarm didn't go off right. Didn't you see what happens when you trust the alarm people? Blindly? It happens every day, folks. You got to trust people every minute of every day. The grocery store. You know, is the food expired? You know, yeah, there's little things on there, but most people don't read that. They just grab it, throw it in the cart, and go home. When was the last time you installed an app or software and you get to that, here's the terms of use. And it's like 87 paragraphs long, filled with all kinds of terminology that you're not going to understand anyway. So you just scroll right past all of it, all the way to the bottom and hit accept. Bam, accept. You're trusting that they didn't have something in there that says that, well, now that you've installed the software, we are now allowed to map out every single keystroke that you do on your phone from now on, including passwords at your banking and your all that stuff. We're gonna map all of it. But you agreed to it at the bottom. We're trusting that you didn't put that in there. So I'm not being ridiculous. I'm not being ridiculous. I'm just telling you like it is, folks. Every day you have to trust people. You have to trust perfect strangers. I'm not saying that blindly give trust to perfect strangers. I'm not saying, hey, I never seen this guy before. Can you hold my wallet for a second while I go in here and come back out? Can you hold? I'm not saying do that. What I'm saying is you don't realize it, but every day you have to put trust in people's hands. So at what point do you become aware of it? And at what point do you start withholding that trust from the strangers? At what point does the importance of what it is make that much of a difference? Time to take a short break. Again, pause the action for station identification. Another news report for you. And when we come back with hour number 3 of the attack, perhaps maybe a wackadoo of the week. We already had one earlier. Punchlines, music for the Vajir holes, another news report, and just a few questions. This week's is called Ridiculous Renaissance. That's right, we head to the Renaissance Festival, and then all kinds of chaos ensues. So we'll be back right after this. Go nowhere. It's the Attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from Outer Space, Alien X Radio, UG Media, Raw Talk Online, United Talk Radio, and WCET-FM.
Mayor Pete is no longer candidate Pete. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
I will no longer seek to be the 2020 Democratic nominee for president.
Pete Buttigieg dropped out of the race last night.
I urge everyone who supported me to continue in the cause of ensuring that we bring change to the White House.
Buttigieg had a narrow win in the first contest in Iowa, but finished a distant fourth in South Carolina, where Joe Biden scored a big win on Saturday. The Buttigieg exit is also before Super Tuesday. 14 primaries tomorrow, about a third of the delegates at stake. Bernie Sanders told ABC this week.
My guess is that we have an excellent chance to win some of the largest states in this country and states all across this country.
There's been a second death in the U.S. from the coronavirus. Also in Washington state, a man in his 70s with underlying health problems. There are 10 cases in that state, at least 70 others across America.
But the cases now in the U.S. are spreading. We've seen them in Florida, New York, California, Oregon, Washington, Illinois, and Rhode Island. Many have no clear path to exposure, and that suggests other cases out there are still undiagnosed.
That's Fox's Benjamin Hall. Globally, there are more than 89,000 cases of the coronavirus, and more than 3,000 people have died, 66 of them in Iran, including an advisor to Iran's president. North Korea has done it again with yet another test launch we've just learned about. Fox's Simon Owen details what we know live.
Dave, North Korea firing something into the sea, according to reports from South Korea and Japan. South Korea's military saying it looks like 2 short-range ballistic missiles were launched, traveling nearly 150 miles. It's North Korea's first weapons test in 3 months. Leader Kim Jong-un began the year calling U.S. sanctions gangster-like and saying shocking action could follow after nuclear talks with the U.S. stalled. Dave?
America's listening to Fox News.
Donna, is that a bottle of Igor's lube?
I wish you would just ring up my stuff without all the questions.
I heard there are millions of uses for that stuff.
I only have one.
Have you ever tried playing a naked game of Twister all covered in this stuff?
Can't say that I have.
This stuff will really help to get you out of a tight spot. Or into one, if you know what I mean. Huh?
Are you almost finished?
Just waiting for the bag boy. Igor?
And don't forget that my lube comes in 1 ounce, 5 ounce, 1 pint, and 1 gallon sizes. So you can feel free to try out that naked twister thing.
Uh-huh. Now see, I told you.
Igor's Lube. Get some today and get some tomorrow.
It's the organ sale of the century. It's Dr. Jack's Organ Scratch and Bruise sale. We're overstocked, and the shelf life is about to run out.
I've over-harvested. Oh, no.
Livers, pancreas, and those hard-to-find spleens. Oh, sure, they're a little brown around the edges, but we pass the savings on to you. Dr. Jack has gone crazy. Sure, it's crazy to buy organs 2 days after they've been removed. Crazy like a fox, it's Dr. Jack's Organ Scratch and Bruise sale.
Hey, with my new kidney, I can pee like a kid again. With my new liver, I'm drinking like a fish again.
If you're not completely satisfied, return the organ and keep the handy Carry Cool Cooler as our gift. Dr. Jack's Organ Scratch and Bruise sale, going on now while supplies last.
Sick of getting your pizza the old-fashioned way? Delivered by some tool riding his little sister's bike? Sick of pizza places that advertise the delivered in 30 minutes or less guarantee, but don't actually deliver in time? You need your pizza delivered real fast. So call us. We're Intercontinental Ballistic Missile Pizza, a new division of the North Korean People's Army. We promise your order will be there in a flash, and your pizza will be hot. Guaranteed. With delivery to the U.S. territory of Guam in 14 minutes or less. Delivery to Japan in 5 minutes or less. And delivery to South Korea there before you can hang up the phone. ICBM Pizza. Explosively good taste, no tips required, and your choice of all 2 toppings that are not on the UN sanctions list. Yet.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by Phillips Milk of Amnesia, the over-the-counter remedy that works so well, you'll never remember why you used it in the first place.
The views and opinions expressed in the following show do not necessarily represent those of this station or its sponsors.
Give me some static! You got something to say? Don't be a bitch. Call into the show at 313-444-8919. You have been beamed aboard and are now inside the mothership
For the attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from outer space.
When's the last time you had a good time?
Broadcasting from beyond planet chaos directly into your vajir holes.
Am I the meanest?
Alien Stone.
Am I the prettiest?
Alien Stone.
Am I the baddest mofo low down around this town?
Alien Stone.
But who am I?
Alien Stone.
Who am I?
Alien Stone.
I can't hear you.
Alien Stone.
The Shogun of Harlem.
Welcome back to The Attack. It is hour number 3 of The Attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from outer space, broadcasting to you live from the other side of planet chaos directly into your vajir holes on alienxradio.com, UG Media, Raw Talk Online, United Talk Radio, and WCET-FM, and then fine affiliates around the world in syndication and replay. Thank you very much for joining me wherever it is that you are in the world. All over the place, man. I love it. We got people that call in from Germany. It's like, you know, I'm looking at my player all the time and it's like, man, you got like a bunch of people listening in Germany. I'm like, I'm not speaking German. So, you know, what is this, like, just David Hasselhoff? Is that who's listening? I don't understand. But I guess Germany just loves everything that is English. You know, anything that's in English, they love it. I don't know. Even in the 80s, remember 99 red balloons? Which was actually 99 Luftballons, which was in German. I had, that's right. Hey, millennials, let me explain something to you. You know what a 45 is? I'm going to tell you what it is. It was a piece of vinyl with a sticker in the middle and a hole. And then they cut these grooves into the vinyl, and then you put it on this machine called a record player. And it had this arm on it, which had this little, they called it a needle, but it was really just a piece of plastic with a diamond chip on the end. And you would put that on this piece of vinyl into one of the grooves, and then it would spin around. And when it spun around, it would make noise, and that noise was called music. Where was I going with this? Oh my God, I totally just totally lost where I was going with that. Oh, 99 balloons, that's right. So I had it on 45. Guess what the other side was? Millennials, the other side was when you got done playing that song, you could take it off of the record player, turn it over, and put it back on the record player, and there would be something else on the other side, which is amazing, right? So, the other side was the same song, 99 Luftballons, but it was now 99 Red Balloons, same song in English. So, I don't know. So, maybe even back then, you know, the English and the German line was blurred there. Maybe they were already loving it. I thought that they were way behind, but I don't know. What can I tell you? They were ahead on that one. David Hasselhoff, everybody. David Hasselhoff. Anyway, let's go ahead and get things underway. What's going on in this hour? Let's talk about some things before I play music for your vajir holes. We already did our Wackadoo of the Week earlier, so I'm going to do this. This is what I'm going to call the Wackadoo of the Week. Here, let me get rid of this banner that's up here with the phone number and everything. You can give me a call while I'm talking, by the way, 313-444-8919. Right now, this isn't brand new, but it's getting a lot more popular. Okay? People do weightlifting all the time. They go to the gym. They jog. They ride bikes. You see all these commercials on TV for this mirror that you can buy, which, you know, while you're watching yourself work out and sweat, you can also see an image in the mirror of the guy that's telling you to sweat and watch him in the mirror. But one of these fads that's been going on and is now gaining popularity is vaginal weightlifting. Yes, you heard me say it. Vaginal weightlifting. That would be lifting weights with the vagina. Okay? Now, people are like, how the hell does this even happen? Well, this is how it happens. You take a weight, and of course, depending on your strength and your abilities, you can change that weight. If you look at, there's a lot of videos. No, you don't see what's happening. Like most of these videos, like they're wearing a dress, and you can see the weight hanging underneath their knees, and the string going on up, where it's going. So the idea is that you can strengthen the vaginal muscles by lifting weight with it. So the way that this works is you get I've done a little research on this just so I can know what I'm talking about. It's usually an egg-shaped item, shaped like an egg. It could be plastic or it could be made of marble, but it's smooth and it's shaped like an egg. There's a hole drilled through it where the string, rope, whatever, cable, if you will, goes into the egg, back out, and then attached. So it's attached, right? So the string comes out of this egg. On the other end, you have a clip, like a dog leash. What can I tell you? It's like a dog leash. And then that's how you connect your weights. So the lady who wishes to work on strengthening her vaginal wall muscles would take the egg and insert it. The string would be, of course, coming out and attached to the weight, where the woman would then stand up, where it would lift the weight, and you would have to, of course, clinch or hang on to using the muscles. Otherwise, it would, of course, pull the egg back out. So, therefore, the weight would have to be something you build up to as the muscles strengthen. Now, what health benefits this has, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm certainly not a gynecologist. But from a point of view of a man, I could imagine what, in a sexual situation, that woman would be able to do with trained and strengthened muscles in there. So, would it improve the quality of your sex life? Probably. Or you would get somebody who's a fanatic with it and is like lifting up car engines and stuff, and then you better be real careful that you don't say the wrong thing, because she'll clinch up. And you're done. That's all I'm saying. So that's the new thing, people. For some reason, I just don't see that there'll be a station set up anytime soon at Planet Fitness for this, though. I'm not seeing that happening anytime soon. We don't judge. It's judgment-free zone. It's a judgment-free zone. She can only pick up 25 pounds with her vajayjay. I'm judging. Music for the Vajir Holes. This is a song I wrote a very, very long time ago. It's called Can't Stop the Rock by myself, Alien Stone. You are tuned to the Attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from Outer Space.
far. We just don't agree with where we are. Well, maybe we just weren't meant to be stars. Well, maybe we were, but now with each other. So maybe it's better to be away from each other. The end of a dream is the start of another.
So we'll start to talk and we'll start to walk the walk. Then I'll talk, I'll walk, yeah. And then I'll start to be the thing. And then I know I can't be all the things I dream.
Everybody all around me would agree.
It's the way things have to be. When we came along, we slid into this town. But from the rocks we go hit the ground. I just can't believe all the things we did. I just can't believe all these dreams are dead. But now I know I'm just a hand to rock. But no matter what, I just can't stop. I've got to rock. Just can't stop. I can't stop the rock. I can't stop the rock.
Out of the flames I rise up again with a techno style and a passion for sin. And the tag on my shirt says I'll do it again. Just because another chapter is done, that doesn't mean that I forget where I came from. 'Cause getting there is half of the fun.
I'm getting older, I'm starting over. I'm feeling bolder, I just can't stop the rock. I'm feeling hunger, I'm rocking longer. I'm feeling stronger, I just can't stop the rock. I'm getting older, I'm starting over. I'm feeling bolder, I just can't stop the rock. I'm feeling hunger, I'm rocking longer. I'm feeling stronger, I just can't stop the rock. 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 I just can't stop the rock.
You got something to say? Don't be a bitch. Call into the show at 313-444-8919. Broadcasting from beyond planet chaos directly into your Vajir holes. You have been beamed aboard and are now inside the mothership for the attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from outer space.
Can you feel it?
All right, folks. So once again, it is time for the punchlines. What's going on with my headphones, man? You don't know. You're not here, right? Someone calls in. Well, I think what's happening with your headphones is this. Yeah, I'm really sure you're going to help. Anyway, it's now time for the punchlines, being brought to you today by Igor's Lube. Look for and like Igor's Lube on Facebook and at www.igorslube.com. It's great for dry, flaky elbows, squeaky hinges, doing it, and naked games of Twister. Also, don't forget about the brand spanking new 22-ounce bottle of Igor's Lube and The Station. It's a new product. Also, head on over to igorslube.com and check out Igor's Apparel. T-shirts now available. Collect them all. That's www.igorslube.com. So, folks, get these punchlines over here. I'm sitting here looking at the wrong paper. Here we go. Wrecking Ball fails to stop Leaning Tower of Dallas from leaning. So, apparently in Dallas, there's this tower, which I don't know if it's sinking in the ground and tipping like in Pisa. In Pisa? Of Pisa? I don't. Is that the name of the city it's in? Or I don't know. Either way, the Leaning Tower of Pisa is kind of sinking and tipping, right? I don't know what's exactly happening in Dallas, but they have this tower that's tipping. So they wanted to stop it from tipping. So let me read that again to you. Wrecking Ball fails to stop Leaning Tower of Dallas from leaning. I don't understand what you're thinking is behind using a wrecking ball. Because the purpose of a wrecking ball is literally to do the opposite of what you're asking it to do.
I came in like a wrecking ball.
Yes, okay, so it didn't work. Ding-dongs.
Hey, let's use glue to keep the eggs from sticking in the pan.
Let's just use things that aren't intended for their purpose. Thousands of bees attack police and firefighters. Now that's a horrifying headline, people. You're scaring people with this stuff. Thousands of bees attack police and firefighters. Apparently, it was all part of an undercover sting operation. Ba-dum-bum.
I came in like a wrecking ball.
I know, I wish I could take that back, you know what I'm saying?
You see, we got the power to turn back time.
No, we don't. Rembrandt painting thought to be a knockoff. Turns out to be the real thing. Too bad that they had already let their kid paint a kitty cat into the background. It's a Rembrandt! It's for real. You first off, if you have a fake Rembrandt that's so close to being the real Rembrandt, why would I don't understand the don't you think you would keep that under lock and key anyway? I mean, or at least like out of harm's way. And now you should definitely sue whoever it is that told you it wasn't real. And they should lose their license. Do you have to have a license to go around telling people that their art's real? I don't know. And finally, Canadian scientists give a vicious name to a newly discovered T-Rex relative. I don't speak Latin, so I can't pronounce it. So, they call him Larry. But in Canadian, it means Larry, eh? Or Reaper of Death. So we've got a raptor, and now we've got a Reaper of Death? I see another Jurassic Park movie coming. Jurassic Park in hell. Somehow they actually end up in hell, running from the Reaper of Death dinosaurs. Directed by the tornado or the Sharknado guy. Reaper of Death NATO, folks. Just saying, that's what it could be called, and that's been the punchlines. All right. So, folks, yeah. I guess before I get to more music for the Vajir Holes, I also wanted to just briefly talk about this. I thought I pulled up that already. Here, let's grab that. I have certain music that I would like to use in the background for this. I'll probably get in trouble for it. I get in trouble anytime I try to use any kind of music in the background while I'm doing anything. Mad Martin will love this one. This is one of my favorite instrumentals, by the way. Of course, I'm talking about the music representing the Benny Hill Show. I think I got a picture of Benny Hill. Let me load that up. I don't know. Got you guys waiting while I look up pictures of Benny Hill. How about that? Yeah. All right. So anyway, why am I playing the Benny Hill theme? You might be asking. If you have any kind of sanity, then yeah, that's what you're asking. So, the reason why I'm playing the Benny Hill theme is there's a guy who just recently got arrested. And I don't understand the legalities of how he got arrested. He's a douchebag, but I didn't know that you can get arrested just for being a douchebag. I had no idea. Let me fade that out before I get in trouble. The reason why I was playing the Benny Hill theme is because this guy was hanging out in an area where he knew there was a lot of icy sidewalks. And he sat there with his boombox waiting and waiting. And when people would walk by, they would slip and fall. And as soon as they fell, he would hit that. You know what I'm saying? So, needless to say, people were getting a little angry. You know, I mean, it's like you're already mad because you slipped and fell and busted your ass, or you know, you're embarrassed, or whatever, and then all of a sudden, it was too much for people to handle. So they all kept reporting it, and the guy finally, I thought maybe a ticket, but no, he was arrested. What? Did he somehow make the ground slippery? Did he somehow push them and knock them onto the ground? You're punishing somebody else for their clumsiness. That's ridiculous. So you can't laugh at somebody for falling down anymore? Now, usually when I see somebody fall, I see it happen, I go, and then I watch and I look and I'm like, okay, they are uninjured. They're okay. But I make sure they're uninjured first. Okay? If they hit the ground, they go, I'm not going to laugh. That's rude. Because it's not funny when someone gets hurt, but it is funny when they just fall down. Especially if they're watching their stupid cell phone and they're walking and they trip into a fountain or something like that. That's hilarious. Mad Martin says, I can't repeat it on FM radio, but he says, that's my kind of a-hole. I can say that, yeah. But yeah, it reminds me of a time, too, my sister and brother, we had a neighbor, his name was George, and he was arguably the crabbiest human being on earth. And he used to constantly go out and steal the balls that went over the fence or whatever. Even in his underwear one time, he came out and grabbed a Frisbee or something. He said, it's mine, it's in my yard, it's mine. So he was a real crabby a-hole. So what they did was they got 2 tape recorders, and they got copies of the song George of the Jungle. And they put them on both tape recorders, and they put one in the front yard and one in the backyard. And the person in the front yard would start playing George, George, George of the Jungle, watch out for that tree. You know, and he would get angry. He would run to the front yard. What are you guys doing? What are you guys? And he would shut off that tape recorder. As soon as he would turn it off, my sister in the backyard would hit play. George, George, George of the Jungle, watch out for that tree. And he'd go, ah! And he'd run all the way to the backyard screaming and hollering. She shut off the tape recorder, and then in the front yard again, George, George, George. It was awesome. This is one of my favorite stories. I'm just saying. Yes! So, I do need to find some more music for your Vajir holes. I haven't even been looking, so I guess I should find something. We can't play the Benny Hill theme. So I'm thinking, how about Warthog? You're like, what the hell is Warthog? It's a tune by a band called Black, and you're listening to the Attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from Outer Space.
This
Ah, yes, everybody. Once again, we are at the bottom of the hour, which means it's time to take another news break. Time to let you know what's going on in the world. And then when we come back, we'll talk about a few more things that are on my list here, some goofy stuff. We'll talk about Wendy's breakfast. We'll talk about the frozen potato hemorrhoid cure. We'll talk about what some dude is stabbing people with a needle what is in that needle that he's stabbing people with. Oprah, what is she talking about, and what does she do at the same time on stage? I'll tell you about that. And a woman is blinded while undergoing a elective surgery. I'll try to squeeze all of that in and just a few questions when we return from this short break. You are tuned to the Attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from Outer Space on Alien X Radio, UG Media, Raw Talk Online, United Talk Radio, WCET FM, and our fine affiliates in syndication and replay around the world.
This is AP News. I'm Rita Foley. 2 deaths now in the U.S. from the coronavirus, both in Washington state. Both were men with existing health problems. But what's raising concerns now are new cases of the virus in Washington state, California, New York, and Rhode Island. Health Secretary Alex Azar says the U.S. is working on a vaccine, but he warns there are challenges.
We don't know where this will go, that we will see more cases, that we will see continued community spreading in the United States as we're seeing around the world. How big that gets, we do not know, but we have the most advanced public health system and surveillance system in the world.
Secretary Azar was on ABC's This Week. The coronavirus, which originated in China, has now killed more than 3,000 people around the world. Pete Buttigieg says it's over for him. He's dropping his campaign for the Democratic presidential nomination.
I am making the difficult decision to suspend my campaign for the presidency.
But Joe Biden is hoping his big win in South Carolina's primary over the weekend has turned this race around for him.
Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden is feeling confident heading into Super Tuesday now that he has his first ever primary win behind him.
I think we can win most of the southern states. We're in contention, including in Texas. It's going to be very hard to make up the ground in California, but I think we can make up a lot of ground in California in 3 days.
But Bernie Sanders, who has more money and better outreach, is feeling pretty good too.
We have an excellent chance to win some of the largest states in this country and states all across this country because of the coalition that we're putting together, because of the issues that we are talking about.
Both Sanders and Biden appeared on ABC's This Week. Shelley Antler, Washington.
Santa Ana, California police shot and killed a man with a gun Sunday inside a Catholic church. This is AP News.
Me and my lady want to get busy tonight. What do you recommend?
Igor's Lube.
I got my fist stuck in a gravy boat. Any ideas on how I can get it out?
Igor's Lube.
The hinges on my cabinet doors are squeaky. What should I use?
Igor's Lube.
I got dry, flaky elbows.
Igor's Lube.
Okay, but what if I'm being held hostage by a supervillain in an underground lair with a ticking time bomb and only seconds left until detonation? What would save me then, huh?
Igor's Lube.
That's right. Everything is smoother with Igor's Lube.
Igor's Lube. Get some today and get some tomorrow.
When you need the absolute fastest high-speed internet for your home or business but need to stay on your budget, then you need to give AlienCast a try. AlienCast high-speed fiber optic dial-up features ultra-fast dial-up speeds for way less than that fancy schmancy DSL or cable internet. Plus, AlienCast has all the great features you've come to expect from dial-up service, such as plugging your landline into your computer, installing an archaic phone modem card, and not having to mess with all that Wi-Fi nonsense, all for a fraction of the cost of internet that's way too fast for most people anyway. Call 1-888-GO-ALIEN to get Alien Cast high-speed dial-up in your home today. Alien Cast. Out of this world internet, down to earth prices.
Got something to say? Don't be a bitch. Call into the show at 313-444-8919. Or you can jump in the chat room at alienxradio.com. Broadcasting from beyond planet chaos directly into your vagir holes. It's the attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from outer space.
The house is now on fire.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We are now in the home stretch. That's right. I can see the big blue ball getting bigger in the window, which means we're headed back towards planet Earth, where I will beam you back to wherever it was you were when I took you. Some of you have got to remember that I will be beaming you aboard on Mondays at 9 a.m. Don't be doing anything weird. I can't see you. I can only beam you. So, like today, for instance, a few people were, like, doing weird things. Okay, and all of a sudden, bam, you're on board, like, naked, and there's whipped cream and stuff. I'm just saying, around 9 a.m., make sure that you're at least dressed, okay? I can't see you. Just beam you. That being said, I'm going to get to a few things here. We got to get to just a few questions, so I got to make sure that I squeeze a few things in here right now before we get to that, because I've been talking about this stuff, and I want to get to it. So, anyway, buyer beware first. No, you know what? I'm going to skip that. That's a big, long discussion about buyer beware. See if we got time for that later. I doubt it. Let's get off that. So, let's talk about food for a second here. Okay, first off, potatoes make great French fries. They do not make great hemorrhoid antidotes, okay? From the generation that brought you eating Tide Pods and snorting condoms brings you now sticking frozen potatoes in your butt to combat butt grapes. And I'm talking about hemorrhoids, okay? Doctors are telling everybody, I don't know where you got that information from, but please don't do that. It's very, very, very bad for you. Food is not supposed to go up that direction, okay? It's a bad situation, so they are urging you to not do that. So everybody out there that is a moron, please listen and don't do that anymore. That's bad for you. For instance, if you needed them to tell you that, then here, let me help you out right now, too. Don't stick a cactus up your nose. That's bad for you also. Do not stick a metal butter knife into a light socket or, a socket on the wall while you're don't do that. Also, don't stick it into the toaster. That's bad for you. What else should you not do? You should not drink an entire gallon of whiskey in one sitting. That's also something you should probably not do. It's not good for you. Do not let your friend run you over with a car. These are all things that, in case you were unaware, that are bad for you, I'm helping you out. So maybe other people will guide you a little bit better in life because apparently you haven't been getting any guidance. So moving on with food. Wendy's changes the game because now they're opening up early because they have now got breakfast. And I have already eaten their breakfast. I got the breakfast Baconator, and it was delicious. It's a sausage patty. It is some eggs and some cheese and, of course, lots of bacon. And they put a hollandaise sauce on it, which was delicious, and I loved it. Do not let them fool you by saying that they have hash browns. They do not have hash browns. What they have is flattened rally fries. They are just rally fries squished flat. That's all they are. But nonetheless, that was delicious. Wendy's changing the game. Also, they've told me that you can order a burger in the morning, and they would have you pull up and make it for you. Chick-fil-A moving around, opening up more and more stores, and recently I tried their nuggets, which were, in my opinion, the next best thing to crack cocaine, which I've never had, by the way. They were delicious, and KFC now responding by coming out with an 80-piece popcorn chicken bucket. And, of course, they changed the popcorn chicken to be bigger chunks now, too, to obviously to compete with Chick-fil-A. They have, I believe, a 30-piece, which I believe that Chick-fil-A should, in fact, have a 100-piece if they want to actually give the people what they need. Also, a guy has been, they're looking for this guy. He's running around stabbing people with a syringe. And does he have a disease in the syringe? Does he have chemicals in it? What is he poking people with? Well, it's filled with his own semen. I don't know what his plan is. I don't know if he thinks that he's going to be a daddy by doing this or what the deal is. But so far, none of the victims have tested positive for any kind of disease or anything, but nonetheless, he is in fact sticking people with syringes filled with semen. People are freaking crazy. Oprah Winfrey. I love talking about Oprah Winfrey anytime I can, you know. But it goes back to the very first joke I ever told about Oprah Winfrey, which was a long time ago. I said, you know, they say television, the camera adds 10 pounds. Well, Oprah Winfrey must have about 6 or 7 cameras on her at all times. Oh, ba-dum-bum. That's right. Take that, Oprah. Anyway, she is on stage giving a lecture, and while she is actually talking about balance, she falls down. I want to see this video. I have not been able to find the video yet, but I did find the article, and apparently it's true. She was talking about balance, and right in the middle of that, she actually fell over on the ground. So I guess it's do as I say, not as I do. And finally, a woman undergoes surgery because she wants to dye her entire eyeball black. Why you would want to do this, I have no idea. You're a fool. But, of course, didn't see this coming, right? Something went wrong, and now she's blind. That's right. Okay, so, folks, I have no problems with tattoos, okay? We have decades and decades and decades of tattoos being done, and we know that they can be safe. The only thing that hurts you is the practice of doing the tattoo could be wrong. But, obviously, there is not decades and decades of finding out about tattooing your eyeballs, okay? So, without any evidence that you're not going to get hurt, why would you do something like that? I have no idea. Anyway, that's all the stories I got for you today, besides buyer beware. There was a gentleman who ordered a dinosaur action figure for his son, thought it was a 19-inch action figure. I don't know how he didn't notice the problem when he got the bill, but a semi-truck shows up and deliver it by crane. It was 19 feet tall, not 19 inches tall. So buyer beware. Read those descriptions very, very carefully, especially on eBay. So anyway, let's go back to Sunday during Inside the Mothership, which airs every Sunday at 12 noon Eastern here on Alien X Radio and other fine affiliates. We do a segment called Just a Few Questions, and this week it was called Ridiculous Renaissance, where I put D into the Renaissance Festival. So check it out. It's Just a Few Questions on the Attack of the Monday Morning Madcast from Outer Space.
Time to answer just a few questions.
All right, folks, it is now time to answer just a few questions.
All right, here we go.
Each and every week, I try to come up with some very important questions that I'm sure the world has been pondering about. And I figured that I would get your input on it. And the input of our listeners and guests and all, like. So if you would like to answer just a few questions along with D-Unit, by all means, give us a call at 1-313-444-8919. Again, that's 1-313-444-8919. Let's get it underway!
Question number one.
Question number one! Question number one is, well, it's time to start thinking about and preparing for this year's upcoming Renaissance Festival. Just the thought of turkey legs and goblets of mead have you quivering with excitement. Will this be the year you buy that sword that you've been wanting, or maybe get fitted for a suit of armor? Will you watch the shows and have a great time, or will you just get drunk and start a fight with the pickle guy? Either way, it's time to prepare. First things first, how will you dress for the Renaissance Festival? A long black cloak with a wooden staff and a t-shirt that says, "I'm a medieval, bitch." B, paint your skin green, wear peasant's clothes, and go as Shrek. D, dress as the king, then go around telling everyone that the queen is a cheating whore. See how long it takes to get put in jail. Or D, high heel boots, fishnet stockings, a corset, a leather face mask with a zipper mouth opening, and a pair of rubber boxer shorts with printing on the ass that says, "I'd rather be at the Dirty Show." And go. You just pictured all that, right? It was like beautiful, right?
At first, I started thinking of Lady High Jacket, and then I was like, no, we're not going to go with that. I'm going to go with...
Don't forget, always a wild card.
I know, I was about to say there might be a wild card in this. However, I'm liking A. You know,
like
if I had to choose, I'm going to go with A.
A long black cloak with a wooden staff and a T-shirt that says, "I'm medieval, bitch."
Yes. Because that would be me. However, what's the wild card?
The wild card answer is... you go as Marty McFly or Dr. Emmett Brown from Back to the Future.
Ooh.
Time traveling. They hate that, actually, at the Renaissance Festival. People that go as regular and they say, "I'm a time traveler."
See, I was thinking about going... Remember do you remember the Big Bang Theory episode where they... Sheldon already went to the Renaissance and they went to go back, and he's like, "But I already went." He's like, "Yeah, but now you can dress as Spock and we pretend you're from the future."
Oh.
Blah, blah, blah.
He got excited, huh?
I think we should go as Trekkies.
That's a cool idea. I like that idea. There was a Snickers commercial a long time ago where a bunch of people were in a car, and they were all like Genghis Khan and a bunch of different people or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it would be great to get a group of people together and do those characters all walking at the same time together with Snickers.
That'd be funny.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
But the bonus question is, for medieval authenticity, wash your balls or do not wash your balls?
Do not wash your balls?
Right. Yeah, you should probably not wash it. Because authenticity, right?
Right.
It's been a while since your last river bath.
Right.
Right. Gotcha.
However, when you do the river bath, you are washing the balls.
Oh, for sure.
But it's just,
that's after the fish get at them.
Exactly.
They clean out the big parts, the big chunks and stuff, and then you can get in there. It's medieval times, people. They were dirty, is what I'm saying.
Question number 2.
Question number 2.
Wow.
Question number 2 is...
Went to total left turn.
Per tradition, as soon as you arrive, you begin to look for a place to eat. What will it be this year? So much to choose from, but at the same time, who goes to the Renaissance Festival for cheesecake and burritos?
I would.
It needs to be authentic medieval dishes. You have arrived late, so the first batch of smoked turkey legs are gone.
Oh.
Yeah. You begin to look all over for other menu items, something appropriate for the medieval times. What will you happily stick in your mouth? A, barbarian balls.
Ugh.
2 large meaty balls marinated in a salty brine, rubbed with spices, tied up in a goat's scrotum, then slow roasted in the sun all day. Or B, the Queen's Fish, a butterflied sun-dried salmon fillet stuffed with sausage, covered with raisins and swarming with flies. C, medieval Musco chili. After every battle, there are wounded. There are even more leftovers, ears, fingers, bits, and pieces of severed and hacked off body parts. That's right, soldiers, it all must go in the chili.
The original roadkill chili.
That's right. Or D, Conqueror's Stew. A hearty post-battle horse meat stew, potatoes, carrots, onions, and horse meat harvested from a conquered army on the battlefield. Stewed all day in a blood and bone broth, then seasoned with the ashes of your enemies. And go. What you gonna eat?
Is there a wild card answer for this one?
Yeah, I'm gonna do one forever. Always a wild card answer from now on.
You know, just because of the first 4, I feel like no matter what, I can't go wrong but to choose the wild card. So I'm going wild card.
Wild card answer that you are choosing, what you're gonna stick in your mouth is a rat burger. Ground and grilled free-range rat meat patty with aged Limburger cheese harvested on location, prepared and cooked to order, served on a stale, hard-ass bread bun from Jimmy John's. Yeah! Ding, 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 ding. It was your word of the day that you hit. Then the sacred white was Jimmy John's.
The sacred white.
Sacred white, that's right. Your
But yet it still sounds better than all the rest of them.
Absolutely.
So I feel like I'm a winner on this one.
You won. I just keep picturing Demolition Man was, I'm eating a rat burger? And they're like, yeah. He's like, takes another bite. Bonus question. What is a Scottish egg? It's not a trick question. Do you know what a Scottish egg is?
No.
A Scottish egg is a hard-boiled egg encased in spiced sausage and then deep fried. And they sell these all the time at Renaissance festivals.
Really?
They're actually delicious. Now, what is an extra crispy Scottish egg?
One that's burnt?
No, you leave the egg in the shell.
Wagga wagga.
Crunchy, baby.
Question number 3.
Oh my goodness, we're already at question number 3?
Yeah, we're moving along here. Question number 3. Okay. You have paid for your tickets, parking, food, you got a beer, and you got that sword that you've had your eye on. So, now after spending $1,000 in 10 minutes, you think to yourself, this is a lot like the strip club all over again.
Right?
But you decide to calm down.
And I ain't say no titty. I mean, not all of one.
Not all of them, exactly. They're all sticking up and jiggling around.
They're all spilling out everywhere. However.
I never knew the medieval had so many sluts. I'm just saying.
It's just crazy.
But anyway, you decide to calm down and take in a few of the free shows. So, with shows happening all over the grounds and at the same time, looking at the schedule, you put together 4 possible plans to maximize your fun. So, what set of shows will you attend? A, knights jousting, followed by glass blowing, and then prisoner stoning. B, sword fighting, followed by the pan flute orchestra, followed by witch burning. Or C, the court jester comedy show, followed by the archery and axe throwing competition, and then the extremely controversial Middle Eastern naked ankle strip show. Or D, the bagpipe marching band, followed by the Highlander Games, and the burning of a small peasant village starving in the shadow of the King's Castle and Go.
A and B both sound kind of cool.
So King's the night jousting, glass blowing, and then prisoner stoning.
Yeah, that sounds entertaining.
Or sword fighting, the pan flute orchestra, and witch burning.
That sounds interesting too.
Yeah, but you gotta do one or the other because they're at the same time.
All right, what's the wild card?
All right, your wild card answer is basket weaving, the blacksmith's workshop, and a reenactment of the Spanish Inquisition.
Oh.
Ouch.
Damn.
A lot of ball crushing and eyeball piercing and burning and putting on the rack and all that kind of stuff. Pretty rough. Your bonus question is, if fallen ill or injured while at the festival, you might have to visit the first aid tent. When filling out the new patient form, what treatments should you not consent to? A, drowning you to see if you're a witch. B, leeching. C, unsedated limb amputation. Or D, drilling in the skull to let the crazy out.
Do I choose to not?
Yeah, you're going to not consent to any of these.
I don't consent to any of those.
But you can only pick one.
I F all the above.
I'll let you make that up. Judges, they are.
I can make up my own answer.
They're going to let you do that because they're horrified at any of those.
I know. It's just drilling into a bucket to prove that you're okay.
Wowzers.
Wow.
So,
all right, that's right.
And now it's time for lightning strikes. Number 1, long sword or short sword?
Long sword.
Short sword can get on the inside there while he's swinging. You can go up underneath it. Stab him up under the armpit. Man, it's a lot quicker. It's faster. That's why the Romans had them. Just saying.
Okay.
Yeah. The barbarian movies, fake. All fake. They've been cooking their balls in the sun all day, remember?
Gotcha.
Number 2, what nation is known for the kilt?
Scotland.
That is correct, sir. Describe haggis without puking.
Can't do it.
I'm not going to try either. Do you know what haggis is?
No.
Okay. It's spiced sausage.
Okay, stop then.
Stuffed into the lining of a sheep's stomach.
Ooh.
Yeah. Delicious. It's a Scottish dinner. If it ain't Scottish, it's crap.
Ooh.
It's going to make me puke. I don't know about crap.
Why?
All right. So, number 4. Which of these medieval positions no longer exists without the involvement of psychoactive drugs? Blacksmith, glassblower, king or queen, dragon slayer.
What's that?
Which of these professions no longer exists without the involvement of psychoactive drugs? Blacksmith, glassblower, king or queen, or dragon slayer?
King and queen.
So you're saying that you can actually get a job as a dragon slayer without being high as hell?
Well, if you're looking for if Renaissance Festival is looking to hire people,
It didn't say the Renaissance Festival.
oh, okay.
Ah, it didn't say that.
No, you're right. It didn't.
Ah. High as hell.
Yes.
Number 5. What is what is something that some people still believe today that we believed in medieval times? The world is flat. Black magic is real. Astrology, or all of these?
All of those.
All of those. Very good answer. Very good answer. Here, let me give you this. Lightning strikes. Here, this one should be easy for you. What was Braveheart's last word?
Victory! No. I don't know. I've never seen it.
Freedom!
That's so terrible.
And then they finished pulling his guts out and they cut his head off. Yeah, it was terrible. It was terrible.
Poor guy.
Very sad. Anyway.
It painted his face blue to look like a Smurf and everything.
He's half Smurf. he's half man now because he cut him. Anyway. What's the advantage of a sundial over a wristwatch? This is a freelance answer.
Accurate.
You're probably going to be wrong.
Oh, I'm probably going to be. I'm going to guess it's accurate time.
A sundial won't tear the hair out of your wrist.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why I don't wear them, because it hurts.
Oh.
In case people see the hair on my wrist, it goes pluck, pluck, pluck all day.
Oh.
I get angry.
You get angry?
I get angry. Number 8. What is the traditional old world term for violently taking one's goods or money?
Stealing?
Plunder. You're plundering them.
I don't like these questions today.
Also pillage, I guess.
Rape and pillage.
Pillaging and plundering.
Pillaging and plundering.
Number 9. Arrows or spears?
Arrows.
Very good. Stay the hell back.
Right.
Stay the hell back.
Get away.
Almost let that run out there. And number 10. Genghis Khan totally destroyed a sporting goods store in what movie?
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
All right, all right, all right. New portion to the show.
What?
It's an after strike.
An after strike? You gotta be kidding me.
What weapon did Genghis Khan use to destroy that sporting goods store?
It was a baseball bat, wasn't it?
And you got it. It's a little bit of baseball bat, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember because they tried to take it from him.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like,
And that has been Just a Few Questions. Yes, Just a Few Questions is a segment that airs on Inside the Mothership each and every Sunday at 12 noon Eastern on AlienXRadio.com. And, of course, our fine affiliates that carry that show live are UG Media, Raw Talk Online, United Talk Radio, WCET FM, and soon to becoming Lime City Radio. So, anyway, it is that time, folks. We have reached the end of the show. I do want to thank you all for joining me this week for The Attack. Couple things I just want to remind you of. What have we learned today? What have we learned? I don't know. What the hell have we learned? We've learned that Microsoft, just everything they touch breaks. I've also learned that I got to stop putting paperwork just out of arm's reach when I'm trying to do a recap. Wow, Wow, unbelievable. Completely out of arm's reach. I can't believe it. So what have we learned today? We have learned that if you're going to steal a vehicle, check the back seat for a baby or a body before you take it. What else have we learned? We've learned buyer beware. Don't order figurines and mess up inches and feet because it could be delivered by crane. Cost you a whole bunch of money. Trusting strangers daily is something that you have to do, but don't do it blindly. So what I'm telling you is, before you trust, at least question. After you've gotten through the questioning process and you have a understanding and a relationship with that person, then and only then forward should you give them that trust. But again, some people you have no choice. You're driving down the street. They're coming the other way. You trust they're not going to kill you. You have to. Otherwise, you can't get to work. You know what I'm saying? So head on over to Wendy's. Get yourself a breakfast sandwich in the morning. They'll also give you some squashed french fries from Rally's. Until next time, this is Alien Stone for Alien X Radio, UG Media, Raw Talk Online, United Talk Radio, WCT-FM. See you next time.